Oh boy, I am excited for today's video, guys, because today I am announcing a new mod. What's going on, guys? It's MrCrayfish and welcome back. So this mod that I'm talking about, I've been working on for the past two weeks now, and basically this mod adds in controller support to the Java edition of the game. You heard me right, guys, controller support for the Java edition of the game. And why this is so amazing is because the Java edition of the game has mods. This is an experience that, no one has ever really had, and that's playing Minecraft with a controller and mods at the same time. But let's not talk about it anymore. Let's get into this video right now, and I'm just going to go over the basic setup. I do have an official installation tutorial, so I'll put up a card up on the screen right now. Click on that if you want to know how to install everything from scratch, so installing Forge, and then installing the mod and how to connect up the controller. But if you already know how to install mods, I'm just going to show you what to do to set it up and get it running. Alright, so it's very simple. So once you've installed the mod into your mods folder, all you need to do is load up the game. And currently I do not have the controller connected, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug it in right now. So I'm just going to plug the USB of my controller into the port there, and then on the other side I'm going to plug it in, and I'm currently using a PS4 controller. Go to options, and then you should see next to the controls button a little icon. This should, if controllable is installed, this icon should be here. So click on that and it's going to bring up a list of controllers that are currently plugged in. Now if you do not see your controller there, unfortunately it is not supported, but controllers like the PS4 controller, the Xbox 360, I'm not too sure about Xbox One yet. I will have to get back on that, but those are some of the big controllers out there. They do work. Now if your controller was already plugged in before you started up the game, you should notice it in the list that it is already selected and it has a tick next to it, so the controller is actually working already. However, if you plugged it in after you started up the game, it won't actually be selected. So what you would want to do is click on the controller on the list there and then press select, and that is going to confirm it as the selected controller. There we go, and as you can see, what I can do now is with the controller I can actually just move around my thumbsticks. I can move around in the menu here. So I'm going to go to single player, I'm going to create a new world here, and then I'm going to show you guys how to play Minecraft with a controller now and go over all the buttons, because it is a little bit different if you've played on the Bedrock or on the console. The controls are actually a little bit different, so I highly suggest you keep watching to learn all the new controls in order to play on the Java edition. So now you're ready, I'm going to go over the fundamentals of how to use the controller in Minecraft. And if you have played the Bedrock edition with a controller, or if you've played on Xbox or PlayStation, you're going to find this very familiar. However, it is a little bit slightly different. As of right now, there is no support to change around the buttons, but I can tell you right now, support will be coming. So if you're not happy with some of the controls, you will be able to change them around in the future. But besides the point, let's go ahead, let's get into this. And we're in survival mode here, and straight away, as soon as we do any sort of input onto the controller here, it is going to show the controller overlay. So you'll see at the bottom left and the bottom right, it has some indicators of what some of the buttons may do. So pressing triangle is going to open up the inventory. Pressing triangle again will close it. We can see that by pressing the right trigger. Well, I'm talking in terms of the in PlayStation. If you are using an Xbox controller, you should be able to figure it out without my help right here. So pressing right trigger or R2 will break a block. So we just look at this, hold it down, and it will start breaking the block. There we go, we have some wood. If you want to place that back down, well, first we need to scroll to it. So to scroll to it, all we have to do is use the bumpers. So on a PS4 controller or PlayStation controller, it is L1 and R1. So R1 goes right, L1 goes left. There we go, we have now selected the spruce wood, and to place it down, all we have to do is press the left trigger or L2, and that will place the block back down. we're actually going to go ahead and get some of this wood here, because I want to craft a crafting table, and I also want to craft a furnace as well, because I want to show you some really cool tricks that you can do with the crafting here later on in the video. I lost what I was about to say there, so later on in the video I'll show you that. But yeah, we've got some items here in our inventory, and you'll notice when we actually hover over the item, it's going to show us a brand new action at the bottom left there. So when we hover over it, it now says we can drop the item. So pressing down on the D-pad will drop one of the items. Now let's say you want to drop an entire stack. Well, it's really easy. All you've got to do is just hold down down on the D-pad button, and that is going to drop the entire stack. So I'm pretty sure you've got to hold it down for 2 seconds, and then yeah, it will drop the entire stack. Now if you happen to not give any input to the controller for 5 seconds, the overlay will actually turn off. This is kind of useful in case you switch back to a keyboard and mouse. You don't have that, you know, overlay there, because you don't really need it. So yeah, any input, if there's no input for 5 seconds, that will turn off. But if we, straight away start moving around with the controller here, you can see that it turned straight back on. Let's go into our inventory right now, and we're going to turn these into some planks. So all we have to do is move the mouse with our controller here. So you use the left thumbstick to move the mouse around, and you'll notice as well when we actually hover over the item here, it kind of like locks to it. So this is just something that makes it a little bit easier to use inventories, is that the mouse will actually kind of lock to that slot there, so it makes it easier. I've already said that. Let's go ahead, let's pick up the item here by pressing X, or if you're on like Xbox controller, it would be A. Let's pop that into there, and we can now craft it. So we could, craft 4, or if we want to, we can craft all of them by pressing circle, and that will craft them all. We can pick them back up. Let's create a crafting table now. So if we have a look at the information, we can see that by pressing square, we can place down one item. Let's do that and put them in each of the slots there. And now we have a workbench. I still call it a crafting table, but it's a workbench. Let's pop this down right here. So to place it down, we press the left trigger, as we already know. And then to use it, we just simply use the left trigger again, and that will open it up. So now that we have our, crafting table here, let's craft some sticks. I've crafted some sticks. Let's go ahead, let's create a pickaxe now that we have the materials to do that. So we're just going to create a wooden one right here. Perfect. Exit the inventory by pressing triangle, and let's start just by digging a little hole here just to get to some stone, because I want to be able to craft a furnace here. So I think we are ready. So let's go ahead, let's get the pickaxe out. So we can actually quickly pop it into our hotbar by pressing circle, and there we go, we have the pickaxe, and let's just move to it by pressing R1, and we can actually start digging out some of the stone here. So let's go back up to the crafting table here, and if we go ahead and let's craft the furnace. Now to make it a lot quicker to do crafting, normally you might just press square on each one of these and place them individually. However, some may consider that a little bit too slow. So instead of just pressing square, all you have to do is hold down square and then drag it along. Whoopsie, let me do that again. Hold square and drag it along. Why is that not working? Hold up, let me try that again. Okay, so that's really weird. I'm in my town world here and it is working. So if I go ahead and I press square and drag the item along, it's going to place one item in each of the slots that I hover over, and there we go, we can quickly craft a furnace. Let's say we want to create lots of furnaces. We can just go ahead, hold X down, drag it over the slots that we want them in, and it's going to average them out into all those slots. So we can actually, by the looks of it, we can craft 7 of these. And something as well, if you want to craft them all really quickly instead of pressing one by one here, is we can press circle. We might actually have to press circle without any item in our inventory, and there we go, we have a bunch of furnaces. I'm going to go ahead, head back into that world and see if that's fixed. Alright, I am genuinely concerned how that bug is, happening, because like I'm in this world and it just doesn't do it. But when I go into my town world, it, you know, works completely fine. So I really don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's probably the strangest bug I've ever come across, you know, a world-specific bug. But let's go exploring now, and something that you might want to do is run in the game. So all you have to do is simply double tap forward, and you're going to start to run. If you want to jump, you simply just want to press X, and that will make you jump. You can, if you want, turn on auto jump, and that does make it a little bit easier, and I actually kind of, you know, found it to be useful with the controller. When I'm playing on keyboard and mouse, I prefer not to have it on, but if I do have, you know, auto jump turned on here, so controls, auto jump on, it's actually really nice. So I can go along here, jump up. I find it a lot better, so I can actually keep my hands on the thumbsticks rather than having to take it off every time that I want to jump. And I feel like that should be a, you know, it should be turned off by default on the Java edition of the game. Let's go ahead, let's hop on one of these horses here and see if we can actually tame it. So to tame or to hop on any sort of entity, all you've got to do is just press L2, and as you can see, we are on here now, and let's press that again. To dismount it, we just press L3, and L3 is actually the same as sneak. So if we press L3 now, as you can see, we're sneaking, you know, sneaking around, and we can tell as well by looking at the top left of the screen here, our character is sneaking down. So let's go ahead, let's see if we can tame one of these. It might take a little bit here. Come on, come on, I know you want to be tamed. Now if you are in creative mode and you want to scroll down on one of the tabs here, all you have to do is use the D-pad and press down or up in order to scroll here. I'm trying to find a saddle. I honestly don't know which one it is actually in here. Maybe like transportation. Here we go, saddle. Yoink that. Let's go ahead, let's find which horse is ours. Is that one ours? No, it's not. Let's hop off that. Oh, well, I'm in a cave now. I think it was this one. Nope. This one? Nope. Where did it go? Oh, it's this one with the... this one with the baby. Where did it go? Oh, it might be this one here. Here we go, here we go. So let's pop that on. We can press circle to quick move it. And there we go. We can control this horse now. And all we have to do is just press forward like you normally would to move around. Oh, okay. Just started to jump there. We can jump by holding X. So you can fill up the bar down below to give the horse jump power. This one is quite a slow and pathetic horse. It can't even run fast, and it can't even jump high. This thing is one of the worst horses ever. Let's go ahead and let's dismount this. So let's press L3 here to hop off. I'm really curious if that bug has been fixed. Oh, there we go. So some reason now it's working. It might have been because I was in spawn, but why would that even affect it? Now another thing that you might want to do is be able to pick a block. This is a common thing that you would do you know, when you're building in creative mode. So let's say I want some more of these red roses, but I don't want to go into the inventory. All you have to do is press R3, and that will pick the block, and now we have it in our hotbar there. Let's go ahead, let's grab out a bunch of items here. Get some stone, get some dirt. And now my inventory is a little bit cluttered, and in creative mode you often want to, you know, clear it completely. All you've got to do is hover over, go to the your survival inventory, hover over the destroy item, and then press circle, and that is going to clear your inventory completely. In the creative tab here, we can actually go ahead and press L1 and R1 to scroll through all the tabs. So just to make it a little bit easier, we can go through all the tabs here. And of course, if you've got mods installed, it will scroll to those ones as well. So we've got my vehicle mod, got my gun mod, furniture mod, device mod, jumping castle mod. Literally the best part about this mod is you can now use controllers in a modded context. And hopefully as well in the future, your favorite mods will also support controllers. There is kind of basic support right now. It's no guarantee that you'll be able to use, you know, everything in your modded world with a controller, in case, you know, there might be a key binding or something that is not assigned on the controller. So you might still actually have to use the keyboard, but I am coming up with a solution. Keep watching for updates. You don't want to miss out, because I am actually going to be making it so controllable can be used, with most mods without actually having to support it. Now, another control is if we go ahead and we press up on the D-pad, this is going to change our view, so we can go into third person, or we can go into third person front view here, and then when we press it again, it goes back into first person. What else can we do? Now, unfortunately, you can't do any sort of writing, unfortunately, so you can't search something, but I might look into the future and see if I can, figure out something for that. But as of right now, you can't type anything in the mod. Now, this is a scenario that you might come across, so let's go ahead, let's grab a sword out, and we also grab out a shield here. Now, obviously, what you would want to do here is put your shield into your offhand. Now, how do you do that? Because it doesn't actually say it on the screen here, but all you have to do is press square, and that will put it into your offhand. We can see at the bottom right there, it actually says block, so the indicators actually change depending on the current scenario. So we're currently holding a shield in our offhand, and it's the action that will perform if we do press, our left trigger or L2 button, and we're now blocking. Let's go ahead, let's have the sword hovered as well by pressing L1 there to hover over to it, and now we can actually have a sword and shield combo, which is really cool. So let's go ahead, let's attack something over here, maybe one of these horses, just because there are so many out in this plains here. Oh, put shield up, it's gonna try and attack me. Oh, and there it goes. I'm actually genuinely curious as to what this will do. Let's go over to the transport. Let's grab out one of these oak boats here. How is this actually going to work? Ah, okay, well, there you go, guys. You can actually use the boat straight away. I didn't even test if that would actually work. Let's go into third person view here. Whoa! So it does actually work on the boat. That's cool. Alright, well, that's good to know that boats work straight away. Let's go ahead, let's test out the elytra here. I genuinely don't know. Oh no, this should work. This should work. Let's go ahead, let's pop that on. Let's go ahead and how do we actually, I forgot how to activate it. Ah, there we go, just press X. Oh yep, look at this. It works. So that's good to know. Elytra works as well straight away. We can fly around, we can point our direction where we want to go here. Let's go ahead and there we go. But that pretty much covers the fundamentals of how to use the controller. There's not really too much else to talk about. Something as well I don't think I mentioned as well, but when you are in an inventory, the mouse will actually be attracted to items. So when you do hover over items, the mouse will actually want to go to them rather than go to an empty slot. This just allows it easy to, move items around, select them and whatnot. But that is going to end off this video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Download link is in the description for this mod. You know what to do. And as well, if you have any feedback about this mod, leave a comment down below. I would love to know if you guys have any suggestions for this mod, if anything needs to be changed. So, go download the mod, test it out for yourself, and then, maybe leave me some feedback on what could be improved. And as well, if you haven't already, I'd appreciate if you go ahead, drop a like down below, subscribe, and turn on them bell notifications. But I'll catch you guys for the next video, which should hopefully come soon. I know I haven't been posting, quite as regularly as I used to, but I definitely want to start posting some more and more mod updates on all my mods, because I know you guys love them, and I love developing these mods. So more videos should be coming. But that's it. I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.